Good morning, my darlings. Welcome to a new vlog. It is Wednesday morning and we've finally woken up to some sunshine. It is the first day that I've actually seen blue skies and sun since we were away on holiday. So very, very grateful for a lovely morning. Today and tomorrow are going to be really, really fun days. I've actually got a little mini press trip that is quite literally on my doorstep, so that's going to be really fun. I cannot wait to take you along to that later. I know that Hannah's going to be there as well, so we're going to have lots of catching up to do. But first, this is the first time this has ever happened. We've actually got a meeting with one of the brands that we work with here at the house, and the reason is because it's actually Dexter and Dickens' favourite brand. We're meeting with the team from Different Dog, and of course they wanted to meet the boys, so Charlie and I are putting together a little brunch that we're going to enjoy while we catch up. I've already made a strawberry and acai and peanut butter smoothie, and this morning at 7:30 I made some of my egg muffins. I've got a little bit of extra mixture, so I'm going to put in a second batch, and the bonus will be that the house will smell absolutely amazing. I'm thinking I might also do some sliced avocado just on some rye bread. We've got yogurt, granola, and Charlie's just nipped out. I think he's gone to Quince and Clover to get some pastries. I was thinking of getting a bit creative and making the breakfast kind of themed similar to the dog food, but then I thought that'd be a little bit weird. Nobody really wants to be having a lamb hot pot at 10 o'clock in the morning. So I've now actually started cheating, and I now make my egg muffin mixture in the Thermomix. It's just so much quicker, so I don't have to do any whisking, I don't need to do any veg chopping, I don't even need to grate the cheese because I just do it all in here. Far less washing up, far quicker. And this batch has got broccoli, parmesan, buckwheat flour, wholemeal flour, 8 eggs, baking powder. I think that's it. And I've been able to make 3, 6, 9, 12, 24 little muffins. Actually, 23. Salt and pepper and Italian seasoning, and I pop the mixture in the oven for 20 minutes. Okay, my darlings, the meeting went so well. Dexter and Dickens were on their best behaviour and the brunch was absolutely delicious. Now I am about to head over to Daylesford for this afternoon and this evening's event, which I'm really excited about, and I'm dashing around the house grabbing all of my essentials, and one of which of course comes with me everywhere is my 𝑭𝒐𝑖 toothbrush. The reason I'm in this bathroom is because this is okay, let me know, are you an instant unpacker from your holiday, or are you a gradually unpack over 2 weeks? Charlie, surprisingly, is in the latter camp because he's quite meticulous and methodical in everything that he does. Everything has a place. But when it comes to unpacking, he is quite glacial. But anyway, I wanted to come and find his 𝑭𝒐𝑖 toothbrush. His is in this really cool kind of steel blue colour, which obviously he took with him to the Maldives. I am taking my toothbrush with me. This comes with me obviously on every overnight stay in my little travel case. Charlie's got the old style, I've got the new style. I'll show you my case a little bit later. Both the original and the new one the cases have a little button on them, and you press it and it sends a UVC light onto the head of your toothbrush, so when you're on the go it cleans your toothbrush, which is absolutely incredible. There is actually a bundle on the 𝑭𝒐𝑖 website. It's called the Brush Together Bundle, which I think is, if you're a kind of sickly sweet couple and you and your husband have the same routines, then chances are you probably have the same toothbrush. So this bundle is a really fantastic way of introducing someone that you love to 𝑭𝒐, because I'm sure I'm not the only one that when you try something that's a bit of a game changer, that really elevates your routine, you just want to tell everyone about it. My mum has a 𝑭𝒐, Charlie's parents and family all have 𝑭𝒐s. All of my friends now use them because either I have been raving about them, saying just how effective they are and how chic they look and how sustainable they are. 𝑭𝒐 actually stands for Sustainable Rituals, which I think is really cool. So yeah, we've converted absolutely everybody to 𝑭𝒐. I better leave that back with Charlie's travel stuff, otherwise he'll know that I've been fidgeting around everywhere. But yes, this is the toothbrush that I have been using now for, gosh, 3 years I think, and I just absolutely love them. Not only is the design absolutely gorgeous, the heads, they're actually plant-based heads. 𝑭𝒐 will recycle them for you. They're very minimal, very sleek, literally one button, no complicated routines or apps you need to download, because the toothbrush that both Charlie and I had before having a 𝑭𝒐 was very expensive for one, but it had all of these different modes. Like, I think it had like 18 different modes, and I knew that I was essentially paying for the technology that I just was never ever using. I never once followed any of the rituals on the app, and sometimes I feel like things get made overcomplicated and they just don't need to be. This is the perfect toothbrush without overcomplicating anything. So whether you're looking for a very practical and thoughtful Valentine's Day gift, or just you and your partner, or you and your mum, or your sister, or your friend just need to update your morning routines with a new toothbrush, if you do shop the Brush Together bundle, you save 10%, but I also have my usual discount code, which will be on the screen here, and that will get you 15% off whether you buy just one brush, or you could get 15% off the bundle, so even bigger saving. As you guys may have seen before, something that I personally love about 𝑭𝒐, and that I think was one of the like game changer moments for Charlie, is the way that it comes with this little magnetic thingy-majig. And you stick that onto your mirror or inside your cabinet, and it just means that your toothbrush snaps onto it, so you don't have any clacky mess on the sink. It's always there, you know where it is. It just keeps everywhere clean and tidy. I will show you this in situ in the bathroom shortly. Currently the windows are getting cleaned in our bathroom, so it was just a little bit awkward earlier, but yeah, there we go. I thought I would let you know about the bundle and the savings. If you haven't switched over to 𝑭𝒐 yet, they really are absolutely incredible. I recommended them to everybody. Absolutely love them, and one of my personal favorite things about them is the incredible battery life. Once you charge it, I would say at least a month will go by before you need to charge it again. So if, like me, you take it everywhere with you on overnight stays when you're traveling, it just means you don't need to panic about it ever running out of charge. I think it's like 40 days or something. I also got my brother one of these for Christmas because he, I know I've mentioned before, he's an HGV truck driver, and he does what's called tramping, which means he's in his truck from Monday to Friday. And previously he had a toothbrush that just ran out on day 3, but now he's got a 𝑭𝒐, so not only is it always clean and tidy in its case, but I think he probably remembers to charge it once a month and it's always ready to go. So there we go. My absolute favourite. This is going in my suitcase now, and without further ado, let's head over to 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅. Here is my jazzy little wall mount. There we go. Always in its place, out the way, and no mess on the sink. So will this now set, I guess, because of the gelatin?
Yes, they're going to put it in the fridge for us and then it will set.
How glorious. Gorgeous, thank you. For the night. my darlings, it is a few hours since I last spoke to you. I arrived at the 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 event a little bit late because of the meetings at the house this morning, but it was absolutely fine. Joined in for a cookery lesson. We made, mostly Hannah made, a chamomile and I think it was chamomile and cinnamon 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 panna cotta dessert, which was so scrumptious, and then we had a delicious lunch in the cookery school. So we're here to celebrate the new 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 cleaning and washing and ironing collection. It's all so lovely, and we've just had a little masterclass with Liz, who has been Lady Bamford's head of housekeeping for the last 30+ years. She gave us the most wonderful masterclass on ironing tips, housekeeping tips. I've learnt so many little snippets which I'll try to pass on as many to you as possible. And now we've got a couple of hours. We've just checked in to our cottages and we are so lucky. Hannah and I have got a cottage to ourselves. We're staying in Walnut Cottage, which is just the cutest little 2-bed cottage in the the 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 village, which is just like 2-minute walk down the road from the farm shop. I've never been in any of the cottages before, but it's absolutely beautiful. I just showed you a few clips of my room and this kitchen area. We've got breakfast bits here to enjoy in the morning. I think we're both going to have herbal tea and dippy eggs, but there's a little bit of sunlight left, so I think because we've been sitting down learning for most of the day, we're just going to go for a quick walk, blow away the cobwebs, and have a little catch up. But such a cute space, absolutely love it. It feels very indulgent, it just being the two of us here. But yeah, let's head out for a walk. So here in my lovely bedroom, we've got the whole cleaning collection here, a little note. We've got the 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 Times with all of the information about the collection. I love this. What a useful bag for doing your supermarket shopping. And we've got everything from the ironing water to the detergent, which I actually bought this the other day and it's so lovely. Got the full collection. Cannot wait to try even more at home. Funny thing being a YouTuber is that I really appreciate this shelf in the kitchen with a really nice soft light above it. There's a window right there and a really nice background. If this was your house and you had this setup, it would just make life so much easier. Whenever I talk to you guys in my kitchen, I have to actually put you on a tripod, otherwise it's just pitch black. But this is the perfect setup. So I've just actually had a really nice bath. My shoulders, I think it might even still be from the flight, are just really tense, or maybe it's stress, and I know I've just come back from a lovely holiday, so I shouldn't be stressed. Just my personality type, and my shoulders feel a bit knotty. So I just had a lovely bath. Hannah and I went out for maybe 45-minute long walk. We both felt like we just needed to move our legs a little bit, so we just walked up to the stables and back again. It was very muddy and pitch black by the time we got back, so a little bit dodgy on the road, but it is getting later, the sunset. We left at like 4:30, and even before we went on holiday, I feel like it would have been pitch black the entire time. So that was lovely. Feeling much more refreshed. I've got a peppermint tea and gonna get ready for dinner now. We've got a laundry themed dinner in the glass house at the farm shop. It's gonna be like, what's that TV show when they get stuck in the shopping mall overnight? Night at the Museum? But in a shopping mall? I'm not sure. It's gonna feel like that, being in the shop when it's closed. But I've got 15 minutes to get ready, and I currently look like this. So let's go and try to put together a semi-decent look for tonight. Look at this, this is practically unrecognisable. They've turned the glass house into a laundrette, a 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅.
Talking about down light.
Oh gosh, oh my gosh, we need to not be sat directly under a light. How sweet is this? Thank you so much. Beautiful. Did you say from the Wooten estate?
Yes.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you very much. From a very puffy-faced Josie. I think I slept really well because the bed is super comfy. This bed linen is absolutely 10 out of 10. But Hannah and I had a little bit of a laugh this morning because at midnight the radio downstairs suddenly started blasting Christmas tunes, and I think I was in a really deep sleep and it just did something weird to my dreams, but Hannah plodded downstairs and turned it off. But it was like Christmas carols at absolute top whack volume, so maybe that explains the slightly puffy eyes. Also haven't had a coffee yet this morning, but we made dippy eggs and granola downstairs in the kitchen. It's actually such a lovely kitchen. It makes you think if you've got a small 2-bed cottage, this layout is just absolute perfection. I could quite happily have this as a little countryside bolt hole. But anyway, we are heading to Pilates very shortly. It's a terribly grey day. I'm hoping it might brighten up a little bit so we can go for a walk later. But it's terribly grey at the moment. Looking forward to a little bit of movement. I think we've got Saskia or 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 teaching us Pilates, so it's going to be a really lovely start to the day. I've just popped on the tiniest bit of makeup just because I think they might be shooting some Instagram stories. So I popped on my Erborian CC cream, of course, and then I used this Beauty Pie Luxe Shine blush stick, a little bit of blusher, and I also put it on my lips, and that's it. So very minimal makeup today, and curled my lashes with my tweezermans. I've got on a Halara the crossback top and then Adenola leggings and my cozy little sheep fleece, feeling very warm because this radiator is on full whack and I lit the fire downstairs again this morning. So yeah, that is the plan for this morning. Let's get going. Before we head to Pilates, I thought I would show you, ooh, something feels a bit damp in the bottom. I hope it's not leaking. I did show you these in the last vlog because I actually already bought a set of this from the farm shop, but this is the natural laundry conditioner and detergent, and they were saying yesterday how it's really challenging to get a completely organic cleaning range like this, especially when Carol Bamford's #1 priority when creating the range was that it just worked really well. The efficacy was absolutely top notch, and if they could get it organic then that would be a mega bonus, but the actual results that you get from the products was the #1 priority, and they've managed to do both. So they've managed to create organic products which are also absolutely perfect at what they do. And Liz, Lady B's main housekeeper, she was showing us even how easy it is to get things like foundation out of towels and silks and linens in her demonstration yesterday. So I I know that to be true because I very naughtily, this is really naughty, I squeezed out my beauty blender, which was covered in CC cream, which I know to be very, very stainy. I squeezed it out inside my dressing gown. So naughty. I did that yesterday before putting it in the wash with this, and it came out completely clean. And I didn't do any kind of pre-wash scrubbing or anything. So I have officially already put that to the test and can confirm it's amazing, even on brutal stains. And then we've got multi-surface cleaner, and this is really clever. So a lot of the things that we did yesterday, whether it was the yogurt that we had that was chamomile infused, or even the cocktails we had last night, chamomile infused, because this is a chamomile, neroli and cedarwood multi-surface cleanser. And having cedarwood in it is amazing, especially if you're misting inside your wardrobe, for example, because it's great for stopping moths from attacking your linens. And then they've also got a ironing water. I've never used ironing water before, but after watching Liz's demonstration yesterday, I probably will start to give it a go just to refresh things. Like this jumper, for example, I don't need to wash this every time I wear it, but if I'm wearing it to the gym and I'll keep it on during my warm-up, it's nice to give things a little bit of a refresh. And this is, again, 91% organic, 99% natural origin, and it's the wild blue basil scent, which is so lovely and fresh. Liz did say you can obviously pour that into your iron, or you can mist the clothes to help the creases drop out before you iron. And then natural washing up liquid. Haven't actually tried this yet, so I'll give this a go at home later on and report back. And then we have this very handy tote, what does that say? Cotswold kit bag, which I think is going to be great for taking out to the farm shop, or just keeping all of my cleaning products organized at home. So what a lovely collection. I think this is gonna do really, really well for them. I feel like for anyone that wants to elevate their laundry game with nicer ingredients but without sacrificing how well it works, I think this is going to be a big hit. Okay, we have just finished Pilates. I did a quick dash into the farm shop, got some curly kale, kefir and broccoli, just a few bits and bobs that we needed, and I'm gonna head home now. This has been the loveliest 24 hours, not quite 24 hours, with the 𝑭𝒆𝒏 team, and we've just had the most wonderful experiences. Great to discover the new cleaning collection in so much detail, amazing to experience the 𝑭𝒆𝒏 cottages, and also so nice to see lots of lovely ladies, other content creators, some that I'd met before, some that I had never met before, but are all such lovely girls. It was really funny having a press trip happen in your neck of the woods, in a place that you're so familiar with. So it was really nice it was just really nice to spend more time here on kind of a work capacity. Gonna head home now, and I've got a really nice treat this afternoon. I booked this while we were sitting on the runway at Heathrow. I've booked I think it's called a reset treatment. I think it's gonna be mostly a head and face massage with Sally in the Shepherd's Hut, and I'm really thanking past Josie for booking this because I'm really in the mood for it. So that is this afternoon, but I've got time to just dash home, make myself some lunch, unpack the car, and catch up on a little bit of work. So I've just put together a batch of clementine, lemon, ginger, honey and coconut water juice, and I'm going to have a shot now, but I'm going to pop this in the fridge. Both Charlie and I and Chloe, we all have quite a mild headache, and I think ginger is quite good for blitzing a headache out the way. So hopefully this will help to clear the system. And I've got to dash to Sally now for my lovely treatment. So I've made the dogs a bone broth and I've made myself a bone broth. I'm going to take this with me in the car. Mine's chicken. The dogs have had their different dog lamb one. I feel like bone broth and a nice healthy juice are perfect when you feel a little bit like there might be something lurking. So we're attacking it from every angle. I have made a little bit of a mess here. So for the first time, I'm going to use my new 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅, oh, that's the ironing water, not that one. There we go, natural multi-surface cleaner, safe for the soil, safe for life, effective cleaning from nature. Love that, there we go. They were also saying, of course, it's really important that you don't have a polyester cleaning cloth because that could essentially just be leaving microplastics all over your kitchen, which we don't want to be eating. Oh, that smells so good. It's got the chamomile in there as well, so you actually get a little bit of relaxation while you do your cleaning. Perfect. Oh my gosh, that is such a nice smell. Neroli as well. Beautiful. My darlings, I'm back home again after such an incredible 60 minutes with Sally. She's just the loveliest person, and even being in her presence makes me feel calm. But that treatment was perfect. A little bit of a foot massage, which sent me straight to sleep. Back, neck, shoulders and head. All of my favourite places to be massaged. It was glorious. And home again now, so I'm going to continue what I was doing earlier. In here, I know you guys have seen me make my juice and my tea ice cubes many times before, so you'll know that the pulp or the fibre, the flesh from everything that I've just blended is in here, and I'm now going to put it into this. I bought some ice cube trays, they're silicone from Amazon, and these ones have got a lid on them, which I've just used a regular ice cube tray, but then I was thinking maybe it's a little bit, ooh, sunshine. Hallelujah. Maybe it's a bit gross to have these in the fridge without a lid on. So I got this. So I will spoon the pulp into here. And I thought what I would do, I don't like peels going to waste. I always feel like citrus peels, they smell so good. I feel like there's so much goodness in these. And what I normally do is infuse white vinegar with them, and then you can use the white vinegar for cleaning. And interestingly, I feel like this is TMI that I know how Lady Bamford's toilets are cleaned now, but they don't use bleach at Daylesford House. Oh, that's our washing machine. Liz was saying that they use white vinegar, so I thought I could just infuse my white vinegar with citrus peels and then it'll have a lovely smell to it. But what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to put them all in this, which is a simmer pot, and you might be able to guess from the name, you just leave it simmering in the kitchen and it adds a really nice scent to the room. It humidifies, just kind of refreshes the air. You can do seasonal ones. I've heard of people doing cinnamon and clove, like a really nice spicy one at Christmas, or you could maybe put in some flowers, rose petals in spring. But for today, I'm planning on cooking something a bit spicy for dinner, so I feel like this will be quite nice to refresh the air in the kitchen while I'm cooking. So I'm just putting the clementine peels in here. I don't know about the lemon peels, I might save them for something else. And then I'm just going to put that on a low heat and we'll let that simmer away while I do my little ice cubes. Okay, even though this isn't properly simmering yet, it's still making the kitchen smell so nice. So I thought I'd do another kitchen job, which is to prepare my dates. We're actually going for a really nice long walk on Sunday, so these will be the perfect little snack. I'm gonna slice them. I've got some chocolate in a mug warming in the oven to melt. I'm gonna fill them with either peanut butter, almond butter, or for a real treat, the M&S pistachio creme. Do they still have this in the shops? I haven't seen it lately. We just still have this one in the fridge. Hope it's still in date. I feel like this kind of thing just stays in date forever, doesn't it? Can't actually see a date on this. What am I missing? I'm gonna presume that's fine. So I'll cut them, add some yumminess inside, add a few chopped up nuts, pistachio or hazelnut, and then sprinkle a little bit or drizzle a little bit of chocolate over the top. So let's get slicing. Crazy lighting, but it's time for me to make dinner. It's 5:30 and I'm going to do one of the planthood meals. I've been really looking forward to this one. This is the sesame ginger tofu rice bowl, and I think it's going to be quite similar to the poke bowls that we had while we were on holiday. You scan the QR code for the recipe. My iPhone is not working QR code scanning, so I've charged up one of my old iPhones and that worked. I don't know what's going on. If anyone else has this, maybe it's a software update, and I've checked the settings and my camera settings are enabling QR code scanning, so I don't really know what's happening here. But yeah, so I feel like Planthood maybe wouldn't like me making this comparison, but it's kind of like HelloFresh or the Riverford delivery boxes in that you get all the ingredients, the perfect amount to make your meals. And I just love the fact that it's really yummy, but all plant-based meals, because I'm not very confident. Ooh, what's this? Ooh, is that the pickled cabbage? Who'd have thought I'd get that excited about it? Yes, you get individual portions of all the ingredients, and I'm gonna guess that this packaging is all, oh, Charlie will be happy. This is like kimchi. Compostable, because they're a lot more thoughtful, I would say, than the likes of HelloFresh, which does contain an awful lot of single-use plastic and somehow is still a B Corp. I don't know how they can be a B Corp. Makes a bit of a mockery of it, if you ask me. No shade to HelloFresh, even though that was a lot of shade. Anyway, organic original tofu. They did say on their website, because I was interested in whether the ingredients were organic or not, they strive to get organic where possible, and they have got an aim to be completely organic very, very soon. Love that everything comes in these pouches, and you just know, sticky sesame dressing, you just know everything's going to be so delicious. So I'm going to get prepping this. I've got the recipe up on this phone. I'm going to watch a YouTube video on this phone. It says it's only going to take me 15 minutes. I'm a very slow food prepper, so we'll see. And I've got some broccoli that I chopped up at the beginning of this vlog for my egg muffins, and I did a little bit too much, so I'll stick that in as well. Okay, let's get cracking. It is Friday morning. I thought I would film a couple of clips of my pre 6 a.m. morning routine this morning. Still a bit jet lagged, which is crazy, but I think I'm just giving into it too much. Last night, according to my Oura ring, I went to bed, well, I fell asleep at 8:15 and then woke up at 5:15. So I had a really good amount of sleep, but I'm going to try and push it back. I think like an hour back. So go to sleep 9:30, wake up 6:15. That would be the ideal. But this morning started with pretty much my... Okay, so I have these weird like little rules in my head, and number one rule is you're not allowed to check anything on your phone until you've kissed the dogs. You kiss the dogs and let them outside. And when it's nicer in the mornings, I will also go outside. So it's sunlight before screens. That's my rule number one. Second rule is obviously hydrate before you caffeinate. I actually didn't have any caffeine today until 9:30, which was my matcha chia seed concoction that you saw me putting together, because my first drink of the day, I've now swapped my coffee for my ginger, lemon, clementine ice cubes that you've seen me making a million times. And I really like that morning routine. I feel less bloated, and even just looking in the mirror just now, I was thinking my tummy actually looks flatter, and I think it is because I'm not having this massive glucose spike of oat milk straight away in the day, in the morning. So that's what's working for me right now. I feel like your morning routine is always going to change with the seasons. Mine looks very, very different when it's lighter in the mornings and when I'm not jet lagged. But what I actually wanted to rave about was a class that I've just done. So I always try to do Reformer Pilates on a Friday at 8:30 in winter or 7:30 when it's lighter in the mornings, because I really just hate driving in the dark. But today, Saskia, who took the class yesterday, that you'll have seen in the vlog, she mentioned, I said, oh, I'll see you tomorrow for Reformer. She said, no, Josie, I'm not doing Friday morning Reformer anymore because I'm now teaching hot Pilates here at the club. So I just tried her hot Pilates class and it was incredible, absolutely amazing. I loved it. I purposely wore my non-plastic gym wear, so it was a little bit baggy and unflattering, but I didn't like the idea of sweating in polyester. So I wore, I'm not going to show you because it's really sweaty, I wore my burgundy set from the brand, I think it's called 𝑐𝑷𝑬𝑵. It's not high-waisted and it is baggy around the crotch. I'm still on the lookout for the perfect plastic-free gym wear. I think the 𝑃𝑎𝑛𝑔𝑎𝑖A set so far is my favourite, but it does still have a bit of plastic in it. The search for the perfect pieces continues. So that was fantastic. It was, they just used the room that you normally do spin in. So it's quite a small room and they had all the heaters blasting. So it was probably about 35 degrees in there, I would say. Did a lot of resistance band work, a lot of work with small weights, and lots of repetitive movements. So it was a really, really good class. But because here at Bamford, if you cancel a Reformer class within 24 hours of the class happening, you get charged £30. So I never want to cancel a Reformer class. That also gets charged to you if you don't turn up, which is great motivation for not skipping a class, because the funny thing is, like, that's the only time you'd ever have to pay, because when you get the membership here, which is an expensive membership, classes are free. So I don't pay for Reformer, I pay if I miss it, basically. Again, just really, really motivating. So I basically didn't want to cancel my Reformer this morning, so I ended up doing an hour of hot Pilates and then an hour of Reformer Pilates. So I'm feeling really good, feeling not too puffed out, because the Reformer was more like slow strength. And yeah, sorry, this might be really boring. I'm just kind of unloading. Anyway, I'm gonna head to the farm shop now. Tomorrow I'm making a massive lasagna, half for Charlie and I and half to freeze for my brother so that he can have it during his work week. As I mentioned, he's a truck driver. He's away from home Monday to Friday. He has a microwave in his lorry. He drives a big HGV, so he can cook microwave meals, and we're trying to get him a little bit more healthy. So I thought if I can do him some homemade microwave meals, then that will be hopefully a little bit better for him. So I'm going to try and make a really tasty lasagna. I'm going to do 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅's recipe, but with some lentils in there as well, and I'm going to hide as much vegetable in there as I possibly can, because my brother does not eat vegetables unless they're very well hidden. And the other thing I wanted to report, sorry, this is a very long Friday morning report, I wanted to say that the dinner last night, that Plant-hood poke bowl, was sensational. I absolutely loved it. I said to Charlie, I want to have this at least once a week, and I thought next time I'm gonna buy the Plant-hood meal for 4 people. Charlie probably could have had a little bit more, or I could cook him some salmon or some tuna as some extra like food on the side. For me it was perfect, and I know that it was really good because I've not actually eaten anything yet today. It's 11 AM and I'm not hungry. I've had my matcha with chia seeds. That's a sign of a really good slow release energy meal, considering the classes I've done as well. So next time I'll buy it for 4 people, and then I will also make myself a second bowl. So Charlie will essentially eat 2 people's worth, or 1 3/4, and then whatever's left I will make myself another bowl or 2 bowls to have as lunches during the week. So that's my plan. I will see if I can get a discount code for Plant-hood. Not promising anything. We're not working with them. But yeah, okay, let's head to the farm shop. Okay, back home again, and I was going to do the lasagna tomorrow, but I think seeing as I've got the house / kitchen to myself today, apart from Dixie and Dickie, who will be my sous chefs, I think I'm actually going to do the lasagna today. I know that if I do it tomorrow, firstly, Charlie has probably got an idea of what we're going to do tomorrow out of the house, and secondly, if he's here, he will be sticking his oar in, and I don't want any oars being stuck in my lasagna, so I'm going to get cracking. I just had a little rummage and found this, which is an instant bone broth classic beef from Freya. I love this brand. Yesterday you saw me enjoying one of these, which are the cartons of bone broth. I actually had the chicken flavour yesterday. I don't know if it'll still be on by the time this vlog goes live, but they did have a really good discount on recently when I got these. So I'll leave a link to Freya and any discount codes down below, but bone broth at this time of year, so nourishing. I have been moving slightly more towards eating a lot more meals that are plant-based. I'm not going plant-based. I could not do it. I don't have the strength, to be honest. I just need cheese and other things like that. And I know there's so much goodness in things like bone broth. So I'm going to use, I've never actually tried the sachets before. Normally sachets of broth just contain the weirdest ingredients, but this actually contains really good ingredients. So this would be also amazing if you're going traveling. Do you remember 2 years or 3 years ago nearly, when I went to Disney World with Freddie, Em and Emily? I took my own sachets of bone broth and vegetables to make soup because I knew that the food in Disney was just not going to be terribly nutritious, and honestly, it was the best thing. So also for like long haul flights, you could take these with you on a long haul flight and then just have a nice bone broth if you're a bit weird like me. And then I also have from Freya a collagen protein shake, and I'm actually going to try a little bit of this now. I feel like some protein after my workout would be a good idea. And once again, products like this I'm often a little bit skeptical of, but let me read you the ingredients. 57% Nordic beef bone broth powder, coconut sugar, cocoa powder. Ooh, it does say natural flavouring, but then it says chocolate. So why would they just not say chocolate? Many things can be hidden within the term natural flavouring, so I'm a bit more sceptical about that. But I'll give it a try and I'll let you know. I am actually planning on making my own bone broth today as well. So inspired by a chat that I had with Chloe in the office yesterday, I've got some organic chicken wings, and my plan is, I think what I might do is actually roast the chicken wings with nothing on them, and then shred the meat off the chicken, give it to the dogs. It will be really good meat. I'll probably have some of it as well, but like mostly save that for a treat for the boys, and then use the bones to make a broth with my frozen bag of vegetable scraps that's in the fridge. Chris the butcher at 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 is a very good salesman, because there was no beef mince left aside from the like pure organ blend, which I thought my brother possibly would be a bit funny about, but he persuaded me to buy the burgers, which are essentially just the beef mince that's been shaped into a patty shape. So I bought 4 burgers, and that doesn't sound like a lot, but I am going to be using a load of lentils to make this a split between what would be like a plant-based lasagna and a meat lasagna. I'm going to do like half and half. I don't think there's any lentils in 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅's recipe, but I'm going to switch it up a little bit. And then, oh, this is funny. I wonder, I'm definitely not the only person that's done this since the 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 Instagram story drama. I decided to try his hot sauce. I didn't even know before all of this recent uproar that he had a hot sauce brand, but they sell it at Daylesford. It's called Cloud 23 Sweet Jalapeno Hot Sauce, organic and gluten-free. And again, of course, I checked the ingredients. Oh my goodness, 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 is where it's bottled. That is where I have some family that live there. That is so random. Okay, so the ingredients: organic red ripened jalapeno peppers, organic brown sugar, organic distilled white vinegar, sea salt, organic lime juice, organic garlic powder, and organic apple cider vinegar. I mean, he's done a good job with the ingredients. I actually don't even know what you have hot sauce with. I'm not a hot sauce person. You can't have it with lasagna, really, can you? No, that would be weird. I don't know, I'm gonna have a little look. Oh, I know what I can have it with. Oh, I nearly burnt them. I just shoved a few of my egg muffins in the 𝑭𝒂𝒕𝒖𝒓𝒆𝒅. Let's try dipping egg muffins in 𝑏𝒂𝒿 hot sauce. I feel like I should do a TikTok taste test or something. Do people really give a hoot about the hot sauce? I don't know. I was actually listening. I need to stop caring so much about this now because it's really not that important in the state of the world, but I was listening to a, I think it was a Channel 4 documentary about the whole Fandango, and they were saying how there is a theory that the whole thing could have been orchestrated just to like raise publicity of the family. How crazy would that be? How does one get it out? It's a nice jar. I know some people literally carry sachets of hot sauce in their handbag because they have to have it with everything. Oh, I can't get, oh, there we go. Sweet jalapeno. I just love my egg muffins. This was an especially good batch. Look how fluffy and squidgy they are. Okay. Ooh! Ooh! Mmm! That is nice! Oh my gosh! That is hot. Holy guacamole. And actually, it's, aside from a little bit of organic brown sugar, that's not bad for you. Ooh, I can see why people get addicted to this. Wow, that is a kick. Mmm. Hot diggity. Wow. That's really nice. I'm not a hot sauce connoisseur. I can't tell you that I've ever really had one before. But that tastes good. Damn. Well done, 𝑭𝒂𝒂𝒐. Okay. That was a fun little experiment. Really impressed with that. Imagine, I mean, tell me, if you guys eat hot sauce, what do you eat it with? I feel like it could really elevate so many things. So I'm going to make a sofrito for the lasagna. So I've got some nice organic celery, yellow onions, then, oh, Charlie'd be so proud of me. I'm trying to be as healthy as possible. So I grabbed some mushrooms, even though I don't like mushrooms, but I think chopped up nice and small, they'll be fine. And then garlic and a load of carrots. Ooh, my mouth is hot, hot, hot. Okay, and then in this bag, I just got a few bulbs. I'm gonna make something nice in the garden probably tomorrow. Some fritilia, snake's head fritilia. Fritillaria nelegaris. A couple of those, a couple of white muscari, and a couple of Hedera helix, which looks like this, as well as another beautiful snowdrop. I just think these look gorgeous on tables. Obviously you want to repot them into a ceramic pot. £6.95. If you're going to someone's house, turn up with a beautiful snowdrop plant. I think that is so lovely. They just make for the nicest decoration. I'm gonna leave that there so it can bring me some joy while I'm cooking. Cute. Right, I'm gonna put these back in here to go to the greenhouse. Right, I'm going to finish my egg muffins with hot sauce, and then it's time to make this lasagna. Is chopped off. I've got my heatless curls in. So this is my bag of frozen vegetable scraps that I've been collecting over the last couple of weeks. And I know that I'm going to have the top of the celery and bits of the onion from when I do my sofrito shortly, so I'll just add those in when they're ready. I'm going to fill this with water, go and grab some herbs from the garden, and then we'll have a veggie stock. And already on the aga is my chicken stock. So 2 stocks on the go today. I can use both in some recipes, but some recipes I just want to keep as veggie only. So yeah, double broth making today. Now that the chicken one is boiling, I'm going to move it over here and get the veg one going. Right, so let's go and get some herbs. The lasagna, and the first thing that I've done is chop up my onions, and I've blitzed them speed 4.5 in the Thermomix. Sorry about the noise in the background, this is really naughty. I did let Dickens lick the chicken tray because life is all about those little pleasures for my baby. So the reason that I started with the onion, and I'm just leaving it here in the Thermomix, did anyone else watch the What Not to Eat documentary that Tim Spector is currently doing on Channel 4? There's a lot of the things that he mentions in that I had in the back of my head from either reading his books or listening to his podcasts, but it's kind of reminded me of some of his tips. And one of the tips that he gave in the latest episode was what he calls chop and stop. And I've mentioned this before with garlic, that a lot of the benefits that you get from garlic actually come out more if you chop it and then leave it for 15 minutes before you put it on the heat. And onion is exactly the same. So you want to chop your onion, and then before you cook it, leave it for about 15 minutes. Chop and stop. That's because the heat actually can destroy some of the nutritional benefits if you heat it up straight away, whereas now that they're chopped and they're interacting with the air, the benefits are able to get a little bit stronger so that they can withstand the heat. It's very, very clever, and it's just a really easy and completely free way of making your vegetables even more nutritious. So my onion is chopped. I'm kind of blending the 𝑭𝒆𝒅 recipe with the Waitrose recipe, just because the Waitrose one is half beef and half lentil, which is what I'm doing. So I'm actually doing 900 grams of beef, that's what I've got in the burgers, and 600 grams of lentils, which I've got soaking at the moment. I'm using a mixture of red and green. And then the amount, so 900 of meat, 600 of lentils, and then I'm doing 600 of sofrito, which is the onion, garlic, carrot and celery mixture. So I'm going to do the garlic next, and then leave that to sit, chop and stop, while I chop the celery and the carrots. Then they're all going to go in the saucepan, fry them up, and then we'll add in meat. Added in the carrot and celery, which I blended in my Thermomix, to the onion, and then added in the chopped garlic, and this has been sauteing for about 6 minutes. So I'm going to add the beef in a second. I'll just push this to the side and add the beef in here. Over here I've got my veggie stock. As you saw, I saved the top of the celery, bits from the carrots, bits from the onion, and I just added those in. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. That's not very much, is it? A little bit more salt. Give this a good stir. And now that it's come up to boil, I'm going to just pop this in the bottom agar. The veggie stock, ooh, look at all that garlic coming out. That's amazing. The veggie stock only takes a couple of hours, so that'll be done today, by this evening. But the chicken, because you're getting the goodness out of the bones, I will actually leave that in the agar overnight and then strain it in the morning. Whoa, that's heavy. I've realised that's actually too big to go in the agar oven. So I'm just going to leave it on the back, ticking away on the induction for a couple of hours. There we go. So the lentils are in. I know this doesn't look particularly delicious right now. And the passata's in. I've just added the Freya beef bone broth into the glass that the passata was in. Filled it with boiling water, or half filled it. And now I'm going to put this in here. Ooh, that's hot. I think I'm actually going to need another jar of passata, but my pan is getting a little bit on the small side for all of this. Might add in some tomato puree as well. I think that would definitely add to the flavour. So these are ingredients that 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 recommends, but they are not on the Waitrose recipe. A couple of tablespoons of red currant jelly. Woohoo! Yum. Some Italian herb seasoning. I'm going to finish off mine and order some more. And the recipe, which I think I'm pretty much doubling, said 3 tablespoons of tomato puree. So I'm going to do quite a lot, because this is really concentrated flavour. And then in 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅's recipe it says to cover and actually put in the oven for an hour and a half, but I'm just probably going to leave it on here on a really low simmer for an hour while I take the doggies for a walk. Is that a safe idea? I think it's fine. It's a good thing about an agar, you can't like set things on fire. Yummy. I just realised that I forgot the mushrooms, so I've just chopped them. And I've only used 2 button mushrooms because I don't want my brother to detect them. To be honest, I don't love mushrooms either, so I'd rather not detect them. But a little bit, there's a name for it, isn't it? When you like expose yourself or a child or a fussy family member to something slowly, and you just increase the quantities and then they start to like it. Is it called exposure therapy, possibly? Yeah, so I'm exposing myself and my brother to mushrooms slowly, and hopefully neither of us will be able to taste them in here, but this is otherwise looking and smelling really good. I'm going to head out for about a 45-minute walk now with the dogs, and then we'll check in on this and make the cheese sauce when I get back. I feel like you do need, I'm sure there's a quicker way, but I feel like you do have to dedicate an entire afternoon for lasagna, so good job it makes loads. We had for dinner was absolutely delicious. I think Charlie thought I was tricking him and giving him a purely veggie lasagna, so I had to show him the burger packs to prove that there was in fact meat in there. But that smaller dish that I made was enough for dinner for both myself, Charlie and my mum, and there was even enough left that I portioned into 3 very quite small freezable portions that I will have for lunches, maybe one next week and maybe just one a week for the next few weeks. And then I have this entire tray here that I'm leaving to cool down, and I will portion that into the glass freezer containers for my brother that he can have over the next couple of weeks at work. So a great success, and very, very, very tasty. My garlic bread was a little bit dry, but we just had an 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 in the freezer, so I'm gonna blame that on the bread. But anyway, it is 10 to 8. We're gonna go upstairs and watch a film, don't know what yet. I've just strained my veggie broth, got that in the fridge, and the chicken is still simmering away in the bottom oven. So I'm gonna end this vlog here. Thank you so much for watching. Leave your favorite soup linked down below in your comment if you got to the end, and if you did, please do check that you're subscribed to the channel. It just helps the YouTube algorithm know that you enjoy the videos, and it helps to recommend my videos to other people that might like them, but also helps your algorithm recommend more videos that you might like. So yeah, do subscribe if you're not already. It's completely free, and don't forget about the fantastic discount code for 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅, whether you want a new toothbrush for yourself, a treat for a loved one, and I will leave that linked down below. So that's all from me, darlings. I'll see you on Sunday for the next one. Bye bye.